The season is winding down, but there are still big games to be played. We're at Tubby's and Thunderbolt, and you are tailgating with WTOC.
It's a Saturday of second chances for the Bulldogs, an opportunity to hold on to what they haven't lost yet.
It's just a huge rivalry game. It means a lot to both teams. It means a lot to both fan bases.
And there'll be even more on the line in Auburn tomorrow with the Dogs and Cats fighting over footing on the same path.
This game means a lot for both teams when it comes to looking at getting to Atlanta.
It's an historic Saturday in Statesboro, even with a road game, as Georgia Southern takes its final step away from the Southern Conference and toward the future.
Georgia Southern's had a great run in the Southern Conference, been very successful, and I say that with a tremendous sense of pride.
Pride will be in play everywhere tomorrow as teams battle for a strong finish to the season, and we'll get you ready for it on Tailgate with WTOC.
Good evening and welcome to Tailgating with WTOC. I'm Tim Guider alongside Cyrus Sandlin, and we are at Tubby's Tank House in Thunderbolt, the second show we've done here this year. We had such a good time the first time. Had to come back.
Had to come back for more. Really is a great place to be, great atmosphere, and a pretty busy weekend. This season has flown by, Tim.
It really has. I mean, it seems like we were sweating like crazy a couple weeks ago.
Now
and now
it's
it's a little chilly tonight. Football weather finally here, but big games all over the place. Georgia's got a big one.
Yep.
Georgia Southern's got a little history they're playing this week.
Yeah, their last SoCon game, kind of the end of an era. Definitely bittersweet, I bet, for the players, alumni, students, fans.
Yeah, you know, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And it is going to be a little bittersweet because they've had such a great history at the Southern Conference and at the FCS level. Some fans are going to miss them playing in the playoffs, but they're also very excited about where they're going.
Yeah, maybe not the season they expected to have in their final one, but very excited about the future, no doubt.
Exactly. We're getting closer and closer to knowing what teams will be playing for a national championship. Still a few weeks off. Still some teams with some hopes. Now, one team already got going last night.
Yeah, that's right. Thursday night football, Clemson and Georgia Tech.
You know, Tech went into Clemson with its hopes in the SEC Coastal Division, ACC Coastal Division still intact. They didn't last very long, though. They had a lot of mistakes early in that game.
Yeah, 55-31, that final score. Kind of high scoring.
Yeah, they had a little trouble in the kicking game. Tech did not return the ball very well, was pinned down deep in their end, and Clemson took advantage of it right from the start. Taj Boyd, 340 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Now, he hurt his shoulder later in that game, did not play the fourth quarter, but he helped Clemson jump out to a 20-0 lead that kind of put Tech in a hole. Now, Tech did cut it to 10 points early in the third quarter. Clemson pulled away a little bit. Vadley struggled a little bit, threw the ball 23 times last night. That's not Georgia Tech's game. He threw the ball a total of 18 times in their previous 3 games. So now Tech, they are eliminated in the Coastal Division. Duke is actually in control in the Coastal of all teams. Pretty surprising there. Clemson will not play in the ACC championship game because of their loss to Florida State, but they have a chance to finish as high as they have in a very long time. And it is the most points that Clemson scored on Georgia Tech since 1908. So a good night for Clemson, a difficult night for Tech. But, again, they still have a couple games to turn their season around. And I am joined now by Ansley Williams, owner of Tubby's and the Live Oak Restaurant Group, and a very big Georgia Tech fan. And again, last night didn't go the way you want, but there's still a way to salvage a season in a couple of weeks, the little game they got coming up.
Can we talk about something else? That's what you call a good old-fashioned butt whooping we got last night, you know. Clemson really played a great football game. And, you know, I got a tremendous amount of respect for Tabo. I mean, the coach over there, he's really, really a respectable guy. And, I mean, Clemson played great defensive football, assignment football, and they were so disciplined. It was almost like they knew where the play was going before Tech got off the ball with it. And
yeah, they don't get a lot of credit for that defense, but you're right. They were in the right place at the right time, and that's the whole key against Paul Johnson's offense.
That's exactly right. And Dabo did a great job with it over there. And, you know, they got a good program. And, I wish I were talking about how great Georgia Tech's doing instead of Clemson, but it was you know, if you're going to lose, it's good to lose to a good football team, and Clemson is respectable, and that's, you know, and what a great program they got.
Yeah, well, 6-4 now for the Jackets. They're not going to go to the championship game, but they've got a game that can turn this whole season around, leave it out on a pretty good note, don't they?
Absolutely. You know, it doesn't matter if we won in 10 if we can beat Georgia. You know, that's what makes a difference in a successful season as far as we're concerned. I tell you who's doing really well is George O'Leary down at Central Florida. Coach O'Leary was at Georgia Tech for a while and did a great job up there. And now he's probably the second best team. Matter of fact, he is the second best team in Florida. So and could be on his way to a BCS game too. So we're excited for him. And
of course, a Georgia Tech coaching alum himself. I'm going to put you on the spot. Is Tech this year? Tech's going to get Georgia?
Absolutely. What else are we going to do? It's going to be an interesting game Saturday with Georgia and Auburn, and it could be a double Tiger win this weekend. I certainly hope so, because if the Savannah Quarterback Club on Monday night, if Georgia beats Auburn and Tech loses, I'm in big trouble out there. Sheriff Russo and Sheriff Korish are going to be all over me.
Well, maybe you'll give them something to talk about in a couple weeks. All right, Ansley, thank you so much. Appreciate you stopping by. We're going to talk to your staff in a little while about your holiday plans coming up here at Tubby's.
Absolutely. They got some great food over here, and it's a fun place to come watch the games. They can really, you can just good outside, inside. It's a really enjoyable place to watch football games.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Ansley. Great to see you.
Tim.
All right. Well, again, Tech Georgia coming up. That is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. But when we come back on Tailgating, we're going to take a look at Georgia Auburn tomorrow. We're also going to look at how it was Family Day at Sanford Stadium last week. The Dean family visited the game. We'll hear from Jamie when we come back.
Tailgating with WTOC is sponsored by Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. And by your local Ford dealer. Go further. Shop FordNow.com.
What's better than a two-door sports car? A four-door sports car. Nissan Maxima. With cockpit-inspired interior and 290 horsepower. Twice the fun. Save up to $5,500. Shop ChooseNissan.com. What's better than flaunting your style? Demonstrating your power. Nissan Murano with premium interior and 260 horses. Let's ride. Save up to $3,500. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
This NFL game break is brought to you by McDonald's, where the McRib sandwich is back for a limited
McRib is
time.
back.
Tender, juicy.
That's like getting 37 yards on a 4th and 1.
No, it's like running the I formation out of the wishbone.
No. That's like getting a 2-point conversion when you're up by 9. That's like going long on your 1 yard line.
That's like lining up, trips right against a cover 2, calling an audible to a post route, and hitting the slot receiver for an 80-yard score.
McRib is back at McDonald's. Real pork, really awesome.
The destination, Kreitz.
The most wonderful time of the year has arrived at Kreitz during the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event, going on now. Take advantage of attractive offers this season, like the sporty and innovative 2014 Mercedes-Benz CLA 250 Coupe. Lease one now for only $329 a month, just $329. The CLA 250 introduces a new era of performance. Test drive one today.
The destination, Kreitz, your dealership for Mercedes-Benz, Abercorn at Stevenson.
Welcome back to Tailgating. Tim Guider and Saria Sandlin here at Tubby's Takehouse in Thunderbolt. Now, we just talked to the owner a little bit about Georgia Tech. There's going to be some folks here watching Georgia tomorrow. 3:30 right here on WTOC. They play Auburn.
Yeah, that's right. Last weekend it was their homecoming. They played Appalachian State. And our Jamie Dean, it was a very special weekend for him. It was his youngest son, Matthew's, first game in the Hedges.
You know, everything this weekend was just as I expected. The only difference is inside our cooler this week was string cheese and juice boxes. It was homecoming. There was a lot of kids there. We met up with a lot of friends and had a fantastic time. And I tell you, when we walked into the stadium and I was holding Matthew and he looked around and saw the crowd, the look on his face was priceless. He shook his little pom-pom. You know, the only thing about it is he's 2 years old, and when he said he wanted to wear his blue shirt, there was no change in his mind. So he was the one blue-shirted guy on our side of the stadium. Jack had a fantastic time showing brother where the band is and seeing Harry Dog and Ugga. He made it to halftime, which was more than I could have hoped for. When we left, it was a pretty tight game, but the Dogs came through in the second half, and we handled business like we should have. After the game, I took Matthew out to walk down the tracks. That's one of my favorite parts of Athens, is walking down the railroad tracks at the end of the game. So now when people ask me who's that coming down the track, I can say it's Matthew Dean, but he's not wearing red and black. We got a big game this weekend. We're going to Auburn. Now, the combined score of the last 2 years is 80-something to 7. So is Auburn going to overlook us? Are we going to go in extra excited because we've handled them so well the last 2 years? This is a big game for us, and it's important that we win. We got to do everything we can with this season, and knocking the Tigers off their pedestal and taking care of Georgia Tech down the road are our next two big obstacles. I hope y'all had as much fun last week as I did. We look forward to this weekend. Go Dogs, y'all.
They are so precious.
Yeah, what a good-looking family.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a lot of fun when you bring little kids to a game like that because everything looks just gigantic to them.
I still even think that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I hope they got the dog walk, too, because the little ones love that, too. Well, you know, last week might not have been a very big game for Georgia, but tomorrow certainly is. Didn't start the season looking that way, though, when Georgia came into the season number 5 in the country, and Auburn coming off a 3-9 year winless in the SEC, but now Auburn is a team that can actually control its destiny in the SEC.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that all Auburn has to do to get to Atlanta is beat Georgia tomorrow and, of course, just beat Bama. No big deal.
Yeah, that's
Should be a cakewalk, right?
Well, Georgia is getting healthier. They might have Conley and Lynch back for this game tomorrow. They're questionable. The defense is actually improving statistically. They have moved all the way up to 33rd nationally in total defense. I'm not sure that is reflective of how they've been playing, but they're going to have to be on their toes tomorrow because Auburn's got talent all over the field. They've got the best running game in the SEC, averaging 320 yards on the ground. They only threw the ball 7 times last week with quarterback Nick Marshall, who's a former defensive back at Georgia. This is the second time this year that Georgia's going up against a player who played for them. So it is a game that's going to mean a lot to both teams and really is going to determine their postseason hopes.
It's a huge game. One, just to keep our chance alive in the East, and then them, obviously, to keep their chance alive in the West. I mean, this game means a lot for both teams when it comes to looking at getting to Atlanta. And then it's just a huge rivalry game. It means a lot to both teams. It means a lot to both fan bases.
They just talented all around. And, you know, they got a great quarterback and just great athletes everywhere. Great offensive line. I mean, they just got a good team. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge facing them this weekend.
Well, Georgia has had Auburn's number lately, 38-0 last year. You know the Tigers going to be looking for revenge in that one.
Definitely going to be a great game to watch again. That's 3:30 tomorrow, right here on WTOC.
Right. Now, keep in mind, this game was supposed to be played at Sanford Stadium. They switched the schedule when your Missouri Tigers and Texas A&M came into the SEC, and Georgia had to play back-to-back games at Auburn. You know, when that was announced, everybody said, well, big deal. This is the time to go to Auburn twice in a row because they're not very good.
Well,
that has changed.
It looks like some people spoke a little too soon.
Exactly, yeah. Well, now Georgia will need a little help if they hope to get to the SEC championship game. Missouri, your team's going to have to lose twice. Don't know if they play Mississippi tomorrow, and then they close the season against Texas A&M.
Going to be a good one to watch. Well, the end of an era at Georgia Southern University. Coming up next on Tailgating with WTOC, we're going to take a look at their last game in the Southern Conference.
So I told Rebecca there's no better time to switch to Alltel. She gets 3 months free. She's saving a ton of money.
Looks like she's already putting that money she's saving to good use.
Yes, she certainly is.
Mm-hmm.
So she bought a new outfit, and you two are drooling all over yourselves.
No, she took Brazilian jiu-jitsu lessons.
Oh.
Should we check him for a pulse? Or?
He's fine.
It's the most wonderful time to switch to Alltel. Get free activation on all smartphones and 3 months free on additional lines.
Unclaimed freight notice this weekend at American Freight. Over 1,000 truckloads of living room furniture. 7-piece living room groups that include a sofa, love seat, coffee table, 2 end tables, and 2 designer lamps. You get all 7 pieces from only $398 complete. Free layaway, same-day delivery. Come to the loading docks this weekend only at American Freight in Savannah at 15,000 Abercorn Street. Look for the big American flag, 232-2229.
Candace, I'm not sure you should have that here.
Oh, calm down, Carl. It's just a new sriracha chicken melt from Subway.
It's not.
Like me to order something this spicy? I know. I guess I'm just into trying new things.
But...
Oh, and Carl, your scrapbooking book is overdue.
Oh, I'll go get it.
Embrace your bold side. Try a new Sriracha Chicken Melt, made with spicy Sriracha sauce, our boldest flavor yet, and part of the fiery footlong collection. Subway, be bold, eat fresh.
Tonight, can the laid-back president of Dutch Bros
I might have to go nerdalicious on everybody.
keep his cool?
Serving coffee? It's like hosting a party.
Undercover.
You're going to do the runner position with me.
Oh, my. Haven't been running much. Makes me a little nervous.
He's an insanely chill boss, so rad, he dares to go global.
I really care how the coffee comes to life.
Más rápido.
Beans are, super cool.
A new Undercover Boss CBS tonight.
Welcome back to Tailgating from Tubby's and Thunderbolt. We have been talking all year about this transition season for Georgia Southern. Well, the transition happens tomorrow as the Eagles play Elon in their final game in the Southern Conference.
It's not the end of the season for Georgia Southern, but it is the end of an era.
We've had such a great history and a tradition playing in the Southern Conference, and the Southern Conference has been a great conference for us to be a part of.
But tomorrow's game at Elon will be the Eagles' final game in a league they helped make, and that helped make Georgia Southern football. Mutual histories entwined across the pages of record books. In 20 years as a member of the Southern Conference, Georgia Southern won 10 conference championships, had 10 players named SoCon Player of the Year, 5 Coaches of the Year, and 182 players receiving all-conference honors. 2 decades that end with 60 Minutes tomorrow.
It was big for us, big for the program. Just want to leave off on a good note. With the closing a chapter like this, just open up a new great one and an opportunity for the school. So definitely just something to look forward to in the future.
That opportunity arrives next year when the Eagles step up to the Sun Belt and the FBS level. But tomorrow is an opportunity for one last SoCon win and nostalgia.
It's with great pride that we play this last game. This has been a great league, remains a great league, and Georgia Southern has had a lot of success, and I say that with a tremendous sense of pride.
So there's going to be a little bit of a sadness in our heart, I guess, when we go up to Elon this week.
But there's still this one more game to play in the Southern Conference. We're not moved on to the future yet. The future is only 4 days away, so we want to get ready for Elon.
Well, Elon is on a 4-game losing streak, but they have played 3 option teams earlier this season, so they might be a little bit more prepared for the Eagles than most opponents. Georgia Southern will also be looking for their first road victory of the season and hoping to assure themselves of a winning season with a victory tomorrow. Well, we're at the time of the year where you start planning those holiday parties. Syria standing by with someone who can tell us just how you can do that.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tim. You know, Tubby's is a great place to come and watch football, a great place to eat some seafood, but there's also a great lot of opportunities for holiday fun. Right now I'm joined by Shonda Clark. She is the general manager of Tubby's here at Thunderbolt. So, Shonda, you can rent this place out and host parties here.
For sure. We have holiday parties that are booking right now. You can call us and we can plan your holiday party from 20 guests up to 150 every day of the week. We do it lunch parties, dinner parties. We can do takeout parties as well. Bring it to your office. So if you can't leave work, we do platters to go. That a lot of people opt for that.
And so what are some of the options you guys have for the different platters to go? You know, what kind of food can they pick up and go?
We can do stuff that's very simple, like a chicken finger platter, or we can go to something really nice like a low country boil platter, as you can see over here. So the options are really endless at Tubby's.
Everything from seafood to maybe some stuff that some picky eaters might be able to find that they would like.
For land lovers as well.
Talk about some of those options.
We can do like I said, the chicken fingers. We can do shish kebabs. We can do all kinds of stuff for every appetite.
And this is really not just, great for work parties, but for family parties as well.
For sure. We can do it, like I said, for tailgating. It's perfect, for watching the game at home. Picnics, to take out to the park with you. Tubby's really has you covered no matter what event you've got going on.
Are you guys filling up quickly? Should people start booking now?
We are filling up quickly. Luckily, the takeout platters, we can always handle those, but on-premise parties, we're filling up very quickly.
All right. Thank you very much, Shonda Clark, general manager of Tubby's. And coming up on WTOC, we're going to take a look at some of the other games happening tomorrow, including University of South Carolina versus the Florida Gators.
Hi, welcome to Toyotathon. How can I help?
I'm buying a car today.
We've got a big selection. Which one?
No clue. Thought I'd surprise myself. Excuse me, what are you buying today?
A Corolla.
We're getting a RAV4.
I'm getting a Camry.
A lot of choices. Let's keep it rolling. What about you?
Now lease the all-new, redesigned 2014 Toyota Corolla L for just $159 a month. That's $159 a month for 36 months. Toyota-thon is on, our biggest event of the year. Toyota, let's go places.
When two cars crash, it can be bad. When a big truck hits a car, that can be deadly. If one of these big beasts crashes into you, you're going to need help big time. That's why you got to call me. Big trucking companies have big money, but they won't give it up without a fight. Let me fight for you. Call me. One call, that's all.
If you've been hurt by a big truck, come out on top.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN. That's 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Right now, during the Rooms to Go holiday sale, see the latest new designs from Cindy Crawford Home. Yours at unbeatable low prices and the lowest interest-free monthly payments around. Choose from our exceptional selection of beautiful new Cindy Crawford room packages and discover what just a few dollars a month can buy, including the very latest from Cindy Crawford Home. Yours interest-free at the Rooms to Go holiday sale. Going on now.
Decorating's easy at Rooms to Go.
The destination, Kreitz Buick GMC.
Holiday cheer has already arrived at Kreitz during the Kreitz Buick GMC holiday event. Lease a 2014 GMC Terrain for only $199 per month. The Terrain features unsurpassed fuel economy. Or purchase a 2013 Buick LaCrosse starting at $28,900. The LaCrosse maximizes your fuel efficiency with up to 36 miles per gallon highway.
The destination, Kreitz Buick GMC, Abercorn at Stevenson.
Welcome back to Tailgating. Tim Guider, Cyrus Sandlin. We thought there was going to be a big game in Columbia tomorrow, but Florida is really limping into it to see South Carolina.
Literally limping in. Injuries really crushing this team this season.
Yeah, they've lost 10 players for the year, and now their quarterback, Tyler Murphy, is questionable for this game, so they're a big underdog, which is unusual.
Yeah, and South Carolina is still looking maybe to try and get to the SEC championship, but kind of need a couple of other teams to lose as well.
They're hanging around on the outside. They've probably been the steadiest team in the SEC East, but they need Missouri and Georgia to both lose. Now, Carolina will finish out their SEC season tomorrow. If they win that game, they can sit back and wait. And Coach Steve Spurrier and all his players say that even though Florida is a little banged up, they are not taking the Gators lightly.
I try to make sure they know that this is still the SEC opponent. They're still going to come out with a lot of fight. It's a Florida team that has a lot of pride. And they're going to come in here and try to mess up our season.
We can't overlook a game like this. I believe Florida's defense leads the conference in a lot of categories. So they're 1-2. So they're still very good. So we're not overlooking them. And everybody knows that.
We don't really look at their record too much. We look at their team, their players, what kind of scheme they have, and so forth. And we know they're very capable coming in here and beating us.
Well, also tomorrow, Savannah State University finishes its 2013 season on the road. They travel to Greensboro, North Carolina to play North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, a really tough season for Savannah State. They are 1-10 and 0-7 in the conference.
Yeah, they've lost 8 in a row as well. And, NC A&T coming off a tough one just a week ago. They lost on a last-second field goal. They want to turn it around as well. All right, when we come back on Tailgating, we're going to wrap up the college week, but we're also going to take a look at what's on store for high schools this week. Christina Tuso is going to give us a preview of the end zone.
I was in a car wreck and I got hurt. I was expecting the insurance company to be on my side, but as it turns out, they were only looking out for themselves. That's when I decided to call Ken Nugent.
Insurance companies try to cheat injured people out of the money they deserve over 90% of the time. That's why you need to call me, because they know I can't be pushed around.
Ken got me $300,000.
Now, I can't guarantee you $300,000, but if you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. One call, that's all.
One of the things people tell me all the time is how helpful the staff is at International Diamond Center. That's because everyone is a certified diamondologist with the knowledge and expertise to educate and inform. Whether you're a soon-to-be bride and groom, a husband looking for a unique present, or treating yourself to a special gift, we always take a low-pressure, friendly approach to finding you the perfect jewelry piece to fit your budget. International Diamond Center. Better selection and value guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Jane Vaden Thatcher, and this is Trout, one of our 3 dogs. For the next few weeks, Vaden Volkswagen will be donating $25 to the Humane Society for Greater Savannah when you test drive any of our new Volkswagen models or pre-owned cars. Check out our doggone great deals, like a 2014 Jetta S with 0 down, 0 first payment, and 0 security deposit. Come see our doggone great deals and support the Humane Society for Greater Savannah.
Well, it's a big weekend in high school football, too. The playoffs are underway in Georgia and South Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. And WTOC's Christina Tuso is going to give us a sneak peek of what you can expect to see coming up tonight on The End Zone.
Tonight we're getting our first glimpse of the postseason, and it all starts at TA Wright Stadium, where BC and Macon County will clash. This is the first playoff game the Cadets have hosted in some 13 years. The 4th-ranked Macon County Bulldogs have made the playoffs the past 2 seasons, but BC should feel pretty good about this one. The Cadets' defense allowing less than 5 points per game, while the offense is led by junior quarterback Stevie Powers. He's completing 71% of his passes for over 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. And over in Richmond Hill, the Wildcats recording their best season in school history. They'll also enjoy home field advantage as the 3rd-seeded Thomas Central rolls into town. There's a good chance the Wildcats are prepared for the postseason, having already played 4 playoff teams this year, their only loss coming from Ware County. And in Vidalia, it's going to be a blackout. The Indians play host to Taylor County for the first round. The Indians currently riding a 6-game win streak and have made the playoffs 4 of the last 5 seasons. With the postseason heating up, you don't want to miss it. Catch all your high school football coverage tonight on The End Zone at 11:30. For WTOC Sports, this is Christina Tuso reporting.
And coming up tomorrow on WTOC, we've got a couple games for you. Noon, UNC at Pittsburgh, and at 3:30, Georgia at Auburn. And just FYI, the SEC game will be shown in its entirety.
So we want to point out to those ACC fans, if there is an overrun, it will be over on 11.2.
Yep.
You can see the entire ACC game. It'll just be over on 11.2.
A little confusing.
All right. Well, a big weekend tomorrow, not only in college football, but all over Savannah.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Savannah Food and Wine Festival, the Kids Book Festival.
That's right. We got the Art in the Park event,
Yeah.
the Bell Fair. So
even
if you can't get in front of a TV set, you'll always find something to
Get
do,
outside,
right?
have some fun.
Exactly. But if you do happen to watch a little football, we've got some good ones for
Yeah,
you.
watch
And
us.
you know, again, a bittersweet ending for Georgia Southern heading up to play that final game in the Southern Conference. Man, what history they have.
Yeah, on to bigger and better things.
On to bigger and better. That's right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Join us again next week from Gainesville, where it will be for Georgia against Florida. Georgia Southern against Florida. Saying good night for tailgating with WTOC.
Tailgating with WTOC is sponsored by Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. And by your local Ford dealer. Go further. ShopFordNow.com.